Hi everyone, it's Gina with Peonies of America. I thought I would go ahead and try to do a second series on peony types of the varieties of peonies. We have an early, a mid-season, and a mid-late season, and also a late season. And usually the late season peonies are the peonies that grow very well further north. I'm in grow zone 7B, so I try to stick with the very early, and the mid, and sometimes a mid-late. I do have a few of those. So these are all herbaceous peonies here. And the ones that you will see with the larger buds are going to be my early variety. This here is more likely a mid variety, since here is one that is an early, and you can see the difference in bud size. And that is a coral charm. Another one. Here also is more than likely an early variety, a coral charm, pink Hawaiian coral, or a seashell. Here is probably a mid variety, very small bud. These also are first year peonies, and some of them won't have any buds at all, and that's not unusual. Usually it takes up to 3 years to even get a bloom. And some of the varieties also, the foliage is different. This is a beautiful foliage. This is a mid variety, mid-season. And just an overview of the plants. Coral charm. Here's one that's not too far along. And we move over to this bed, and it'll be the same thing. I have them all mixed in here. And the varieties, here's two that you can clearly see. One is a mid, and this is an early, and you can tell by the bud size, and the foliage is also very different. And this one here even has color coming out. And this one here, I have it marked, and it is a pink Hawaiian coral. And then over here again, this one has several buds on it. This one has none, but that's not unusual for first year peony plants. Many of them do not have buds on them. Here is one that's very late. This one here is just coming up, emerging out of the soil. So this will be my mid-late variety. And this is probably a mid-season variety. Here's one that's farther along. Early variety. Coral charm. Here is a coral charm that is a 4-year plant, and it has several large buds on it. Above ground boxes here, these 4 boxes are Sarah Bernhardt. They are a mid-season to mid-late. These are usually the last ones to bloom for me. Sometimes I get a few earlier ones, of course. But they are all about the same height. The foliage is the same. The structure, the stems also on Sarah Bernhardt are usually a little bit pinkish. To burgundy color, and every one of these has that coloring. That's another way of trying to figure out sometimes if you just see foliage on a plant. Like this one has a lot of burgundy veining through it. And so forth. This one here just has a lot of lush foliage, no buds on it, but again, it's a first year plant, and this one has a bud on it. So you really never know. These are very healthy bare root. I started with a 3 to 5 eye bare root from a very reputable nursery is where I get my roots. And also the ones that I have on my website come from the same nursery. So more than likely you will have blooms. Now I'm going to take you over and show you some older plants. Back here, these are all Sarah Bernhardt's. These are 4-year plants, and they're just coming up out of the ground pretty much. You can tell that they are going to be, how many buds and stuff will be on them. This one is has many buds on it to bloom, along with many of the others. These here are also Sarah Bernhardt, and they're some of them are farther along, and some are just coming up, and we did have some really extreme cold this year. But down here you can clearly see how many stems I have, the older plants. So they have a little ways to go, but you can see compared to the first year, some of them only have one eye coming up, and these clearly have several. And then back over here are my Mother's Choice. They are a mid-season. And early to mid-season, actually, because the Mother's Choice usually are the first ones to bloom for me. I'm not sure if they're just an older plant that I've had back here for many years, but I will soon be having many, many blooms. And I am leaving the side shoots on this year to have more blooms than cut flowers. If you want to have the stem, excuse me, if you'd like the stem to be really tall and strong for a cut flower on a peony plant, the best thing to do is to come here, and you see all the side buds off of this one large bloom. I've got 4. I've got 1, 2, 3, and then this large one. And there's also one right here that's on the same stem. So I have 5 flowers that are going to bloom on this one stem. But if you want to just cut the one stem for a tall, beautiful one flower, you would take off all of these side buds. So all you would do is you would just gently take the side bud off. Then you would have one tall. You would take them all off early. Right now is a little bit late to do that now, but I planned on leaving them on. You can still go through and take off smaller ones if you'd like. This one has 2. And I don't want too many on here. I think it really stresses out the plant also to have too many side buds on. So I would keep it at 2 to 3, especially if they are a young plant. These again are 4 years old. So I could take off a couple of the side shoots so they wouldn't be too stressed. This one here is still really small. I could take that one off. And this one here has 4, and none of the buds are really large. So what I would like to do is I would like to at least take one off and maybe help these other 3 in developing a little bit better. This one here also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh goodness. I am going to take another one off of this one. 5 is so many to be asking a plant to be producing. And I could actually even take this one.